Hi.
Oh, hi. Not you. Hi to you too, of course, but more especially, hi to you. How are you? How are you? Good, good. Ah, thank you. Yes, finally you said something. This is Kiko and Ray, and they toured us around in Tokyo a little bit. It was great. Thank you. Yeah. And so good to see you. It's been so long. About 2 weeks. San Francisco is really, it's exciting. This is great. So people watch Supernatural in San Francisco. That's good to see. I kind of imagine that everybody in San Francisco is too busy, like working on their dreadlocks or whatever, and not enough time to watch television. So I'm so glad to see that weirdos watch Supernatural. Right, that's exciting. I went to a farmer's market this morning in San Francisco, which I think there are a lot of here, right? It's like more farmers markets than McDonald's. And Rich was backstage. I don't know why I brought this stuff to the convention. But we were in the green room, and Rich was like, he was saying exactly what I was thinking, which is, there's a joke there somewhere. I don't know what it is, but there's something. But these are enormous. It's kind of and creepy, and I think that is there farmland near some sort of nuclear reactor? That's apparently a feat. Anyway, is anyone need a beat? I love that. I love being in a position where you can walk up on stage and you can get a mutant, half-rotten vegetable, and people are like, I want that! Give it to me! Here, you can have both of them. Okay. Show and tell is over now to the serious business. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
What'd you say? I could sign the carrot. Really good idea. You're gonna give it to the teenage girl? Yeah, that's weird, so don't do that. Scratch that last idea about signing the carrot. You're not gonna do that. Hello. Good talk. Hi.
Hi.
I'm sorry, I littered. We don't do that in San Francisco. Thank you. Can I help you with that? Okay. I'm gonna water the plants. Those are dead. Here's something else with the recycling. Thank you. All right. Wait, what were you saying? Oh, you were saying, holy shit. How are you?
Hi.
Good talking. What's your question?
Hi, I really did have a question.
Oh.
So, after you directed your first episode with Supernatural and they had a great time pranking you on the set, and we have all heard wonderful stories about that, I was curious how excited you were to direct more episodes.
I faced the prospect of another directing opportunity with trepidation, to say the least. But, you know, excitement. Fear and excitement are such close, similar states, you know. So it's a combination of the two, and I can't quite figure out where the line is drawn. It's funny. It's a funny situation because directing on Supernatural as my first big directing thing was a great opportunity because I know all of the cast and I know all of the crew and I know the show really well, so I know a lot about how it goes, and that makes it a lot easier. And not only that, but I feel like everybody knows that I haven't directed before, so I don't have to pretend that I know what I'm doing, and I can ask a lot of questions, and people will be helpful, and they'll say, yeah, no, it's done a completely different way. They'll say things like, oh, we never realized you were this stupid. You know, friendly stuff like that. But at the same time, I also go into it knowing that there's a really, you know, there's obviously a very real chance that I will be killed by Jared or Jensen in some sort of horrible, cruel prank gone wrong that is lurking around every possible corner. So it's you know, there's some good and there's some bad that come with it. I really did devote this is not a joke, a significant portion of my mental energy to defensive moves while I was directing. I'm like, all right, I was calculating. I knew that they were going to try to, you know, mess up my apartment. And by mess up, I don't know. I just knew that that someone told me. Luckily, I had a couple of moles, and they're like, listen, whatever you do not leave your keys lying anywhere. Park as far from Crew Park as you can, and do not let anyone get into your apartment. Got it. Thank you. So I told the person at the desk in our condo building, don't let anyone in. I don't care if they say they're delivering something. I don't care if they say they're my mother. I don't care if it is my mother. They're not getting in. And I parked as far away as I walked a long way from where I parked to get to the studio because I didn't want Jared to get into my car. Like on the last day of shooting last year, he put a few pieces of fish under my seat. When he knew that I was about to park my car for the next couple of months. You know, what happens in a hot car in June with fish under the seat? So I knew, luckily I found it, because the car smelled like fish immediately. So the story doesn't end as badly as it could, but I knew that, you know, real things could happen like that. So anytime that Jared was on set, or when they were both on set together, I was alert. I was like a ninja. And I've told this story before, so I apologize for telling it again. But one day Jared was shooting, and he was in the first scene. And normally for the first scene, we're still like in the hair and makeup trailer, like putting on all of our makeup and fixing our hair, and you know, chatting, catching up on current events. We sort of take our time for the first little bit of the morning, and it takes long enough for us to get to set that they usually like to block that scene without us if they can, so that by the time we get there, they're actually ready to shoot. And Jared, we were getting ready to block, and Jared shows up on set. And everybody, not only me, but everybody was like, oh shit, what's he doing here? What's he doing here? Dude, Jared's here. And we all knew, like, something's wrong. Something is dead wrong, because Jared does not come in for a blocking when he doesn't need to, so watch your back. And I actually think he was just trying to scare me, because he didn't do anything, but just showed up, like, he knew, the fear was palpable, and he knew that I wasn't worried. So anyway, thank you for bringing up that painful subject. Hi,
I have more words to say now.
what?
So...
Wait, what'd you say? I'm sorry.
I said, hi, I have more words to say now. I'm not as nervous.
Oh. I'm looking forward to these additional words.
If it finally came down to it, and Cass was face to face with God, what would he say?
If Cass were face to face with God, what would he say?
Yes.
Probably something along the lines of, where were you? Or where have you been? Although I have the feeling that Cass kind of does have this ultimate deference to divine things, so he'd probably be like, can't wait to hear the stories about where you've been. You know, like, I don't think he's going to be mad at God in the final analysis when God shows up. Yeah. Not, I said when. Now everyone's like, oh, it's coming back. I should parse my words much more carefully. I should tell you that when I say God, I mean Rob Benedict. And I also mean Rob Benedict, not Rob playing Chuck. I just mean Rob. Rob is God to me, so he always comes back.
Hi, Mish.
Hi.
My question was, what memory first comes to mind when I say Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki?
What memory?
Yeah, first comes to mind.
When you say Jensen Ackles and
Jared
Jared Padalecki? I don't know. You know, probably those names remind me an awful lot of a couple of my coworkers. That's the first thing that comes to mind. And then after that, I don't know. Probably I'm just going sort of with sort of sense memory things here. But whipped cream, stale fish. How about you? Do you have any memory? Do these things trigger anything for you? I do notice that I have a certain, like a twitch on my left side also when you say those things.
Well, my memory that comes to mind when I think of them is when they do the pie at your face.
Yeah, that's what that I was referencing that with the whipped cream.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh well, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, sorry, I'm gonna digress for a moment. We had our meet and greet. I had my meet and greet, and the other people who were in the meet and greet had it too. So that's why I said we. So, a meet and greet occurred earlier, and we went to the pool area where there was a hot tub, and we hot tubbed together. It was very sexy, very sexy. We all rolled our pant legs up, took off our shoes, exposed our lily white legs, and then someone brought angel food cake cupcakes. That woman over there did, and I sat on one. So, what's that? You didn't get to see it. Turn around. Have you got $1? I had to do it. There's a 20 in this for me? Really, 20?
Hi. If you were to give advice to your younger self, what would you say?
What? Don't sit on a cupcake? Yes. In 2015, the early part of the year, there'll be a cupcake bar. I recently was trying to cheer my son up, and I got him a whoopee cushion. And I was so childishly excited to demonstrate its use to him. And I couldn't get the fucking thing to work. I felt like in one moment I completely failed at fatherhood. It's like, you blow it up, and then you sit on it. And it just deflated every time. So sad. So, it's a good question. I love that you asked me about, like, what would you tell your younger self, and I immediately start talking about whoopee cushions. Maybe that tells me that I would tell myself, grow up. I don't know, I'm going to try to come up with an answer for you. okay, this is maybe not the, there probably would be lots and lots of pieces of advice that I would give myself. One of them is don't get distracted. Like, find something that you're excited about or interested in and do that thing, and don't get distracted by other things. And don't get distracted by perceptions of what you should be doing or what the prudent or practical thing to do is. Just fucking do the thing that you're out to do, and you'll save a lot of time and you'll probably be more successful. I think that that is true. Like, everybody I see who goes after what they are really passionate about and do it in a devoted and consistent and long-term sense end up being successful at that in some way, even if it's just creatively satisfying. And people that hedge and play it safe and, you know, dabble don't do quite as well. There's this, I think it's a Buddhist parable. It's a parable of some sorts, but it says if you're walking in the desert and you need water and you start to dig a well and you go down 10 feet and then you decide, I'm going to dig a well over here, and you go down 10 feet and you dig a well there, and then you change your mind and you dig over there and you do another well, you're never going to get any water. At some point, just stop moving around and go straight down. And I think that that is kind of good advice for myself, because in my years, I feel like I've flitted around a little bit more than I would have liked and wasted some time and energy. But part of the problem is you don't know what you want to do. So, you know, I don't know. I'd also give myself a break. Hi.
Hi, I'd like to start out by apologizing not taking the time to make a dress out of kale for this occasion. Sorry.
That's all right. I mean, it's a bit of a letdown, but whatever.
I was just wondering, what's it like being like a famous touring actor, but also having a family and like, yeah, a family.
What's it like leaving your kids behind to go sign autographs? I also like the idea of touring actor, because I am an actor and I am touring, but I'm not acting when I tour. So it's kind of, when you say touring actor, you imagine like an off-Broadway production that's gone on the road. It's challenging, a little bit challenging at times. Like, we've had some difficulty with it. I think West, my son, used to get mad at me when I would come back from being away. And like, I would come home and he just wouldn't get up. It was really heartbreaking, or he would just kind of be visibly mad at me, and that's hard. And that was compounded by the fact that my wife was the same way. So I don't know, it's a little bit tricky. I mean, I feel like, you know, I do my best to spend as much time with my family as I can, and still, you know, keep working. And also, and this obviously stays in the room. We have an agreement? Raise your hand if you can't keep to that. The only time I get any sleep is when I go to conventions. So I really look forward to that bed. It's like I get into the hotel room, I close the door, I look at the bed, I feel sexually attracted to the bed. Come here, you look beautiful. And then I just sleep. 8 hours, almost 8 hours I slept last night. Uninterrupted. Nobody peed on me all night. Not one time did anyone, other than myself, pee in that bed, and it was amazing. It's such a great feeling to roll over on a wet spot and know it's yours. You're really king of your own domain. It's just mine. Our children, we because, you know, we'll be up in Canada or in Europe, we travel all the time. It's really hard to have crib and be, the kids have their own space, and so the kids don't really feel like they have a bed that they know that is theirs all the time, and so we're the what do you call those? The long pillows? We're those.
Body pillows.
Body pillows to our children. So we'll go through this whole charade of like, yeah, you hear good night, guys, tuck you into your bed, but we all know that's bullshit. Because in 5 minutes, they're gonna be in our bed. I don't know why we continue to pretend. Like, we'll book a hotel room and be like, yeah, so we'd like a small bed for the kids. We're fucking lying to you. Basically, because the kids are not going to sleep in that bed at all. They're going to climb into our bed, and they're going to use us as punching bags all night long. And they will do that. It's the weirdest thing. For some reason, Mason, to soothe herself when she goes to sleep, will literally say, I want to punch you. And it can be 11 o'clock at night, and you're and yes, she's small. It's not going to leave long-term damage, but it sucks. It's not a restful environment to sleep in. And West goes for his thing is he wants to be perpendicular. So whatever angle you're at, he's at the opposite angle. And no matter how big a king-size bed you have, there's 4 people. Plus, we put these little pillows on the edge of the bed so they don't roll off and break their skull on the floor. So really, it feels like 5 people. And then you have to factor in the wet spot, which is always in the bed. So there's 5 people plus a wet spot, and that's really cramped conditions. And so you're always just like this, and you're just waiting for it to be morning, and you're just thinking about your next convention, and now you're gonna have a whole bed all to yourself. So, needless to say, it's complicated.
You forgot about the Matchbox cars in the bed too!
There are, yes, lots of toys in the bed, and they have to come into the bed. And you're like, well, that's a hard plastic dinosaur that's very large and has spikes. Are you sure you want to cuddle with that tonight? Yes, I'm sure. And are you sure you want to have your bottle that's full of milk, which we, to a person, know is going to end up on the sheets and not in your mouth? I will not let go of my bottle. I told you, you're not going to spill it, are you? No, I am not. Another lie. No, I didn't spill it. So for all of you that don't yet have children, there's so much to look forward to. Namely conventions.
Hi, so it seems like there are 2 very distinct Castiels.
There's two what?
2 very distinct Castiels.
Uh-huh.
So you have human Castiel. He's mortal, he's flawed, he's weak, he dabbles in hedonism, he's hilarious. And then you have deity Castiel, who's very strong, kind of pops in, saves the day, doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. Which one do you prefer and why?
Well, I don't know the show very well, but there are actually more Castiels. There's God Castiel, there's Crazy Castiel, there's Leviathan Castiel. Okay, all right, but that's catch-all. Okay, fine. Well, I like them. I mean, I'm going to be very political here because I don't want to offend either Castiel, but I can't believe you said you liked deity Castiel more than you like me, man. I'm sorry, Steve. Steve is his name, right? It's been one of the things that I like about the character and that has made me want to stick with it for so long, for almost a decade, is that it changes over time. Like, there's always something new going on with Castiel, and you get to explore different versions of it. And with the exception of Leviathan Castiel, I think that there was a thread that ran through all of the Castiels, and not just the actor playing them, but that there was a sort of core essence of Castiel that carried through in all of the characters. And that was a lot of fun to play that through line and to mess around with the different sort of cloaks that he wore. And, I would have loved to have played with the human Castiel for a bit longer. I thought I had, maybe a season's worth of that in me. But, it didn't serve the story of the season, so. There you go. How's that? Pretty political, right?
Hi. First I just wanted to say that Cass is my favorite character on the show, and not just because he stole my name.
Is your name Cass? Ugh. And it looks like you're more than 7 years old, so your story, have you been always called Cass? No, you changed your name to Cass 5 years ago, didn't you?
There have been some people that called me Cass for a long time, but it really started like this past year when like Castiel was my favorite character.
Interesting. So it's a little complicated who stole whose name here, isn't it?
I wanted to ask if you could pick any celebrity, who is your celebrity crush?
Whoa. Is this something that you can actually make happen, if you know what I mean?
I could try.
All right. Are you a pimp?
Not right now.
I like the idea that all celebrities are prostitutes. Or somebody that you can call to, if you're, which is basically true. By the way, basically true. Celebrity crush. What are your celebrity crushes? While I'm thinking. Maybe this will jog my memory.
Pretty much everybody on the show.
You know I'm on the show. I haven't, there's plenty of people. Who are my crushes? I can't think of any. No, other than him, it's too obvious.
Mark Shepard.
Nicole Kidman?
Meryl Streep.
These are good, these are all good, but I'm gonna have to go with Jim Beaver. Thank you. Hi.
Really quick before my question, I'd want to say that I'd love to see the show do an episode about the Winchester Mystery House in San
Where is that located? Downtown San They should do that. I wonder how hard it would be to do, to take the production on the road for a couple of episodes. It would be fun. They could do the Winchester Mystery House. They could do a Hawaii Five-0 episode. What? Oh yeah. I didn't see that. Did the Bradys go to Hawaii? Are you Hawaiian? Oh, great. All right. You can hook us up. You can be our Hawaiian pimp.
So my question is whether or not you think the Jesse Turner character should come back to the show, and if so, how powerful should he be, and should he be good or evil?
Yes. We talk about this character often. Is Jesse Turner?
Yeah, the boy Antichrist.
Oh, she's like, I was in an episode of Supernatural with you. Oh yeah, sorry, no idea. I could not remember. Sorry. Anyway, but Jesse Turner I remember vividly. I don't know. That felt like a character right for. Are you related to the actor? Okay.
Not at all.
It seemed like a character right for exploitation, right?
What's that?
Yeah. Not child exploitation, but the character had a lot to offer the show, and he should come back for sure as a good or evil character, 100%. Have you thought about that? You have. I know you have because you asked about it. What do you think?
Well, it seemed like a lot of his power was predicated on Lucifer being risen, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that with Lucifer in hell that he couldn't still have some power, and the question would be whether or not he has enough power to compete with other powerful characters on the show.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we've been wrestling with. I keep telling them, like the writers, you know, they keep bringing up, like, oh, let's bring Jesse Turner back, and I'm like, well, guys, hold on. Lucifer's in the cage, you know. He's in the cage, right? And, you know, Jesse Turner's power is predicated on the, you know, and then they're like, yeah, back to the drawing board, and so they're still working on it. But thank you.
I was just wondering if you read any of the fanfics that were written about you, probably specifically the Castiel ones, and what you thought of them.
What haven't I read? Yeah, it's great stuff. Great stuff. I mean, for me, I read this article that says, you know, you shouldn't be looking at your phone or your computer screen before you go to bed because it gets your synapses firing the wrong way and your melatonin all messed up, and you should just, you know, read, you know, printed materials. So I have just stacks and stacks and stacks of fanfic all around the bedroom, and that's what I read. I'll probably read, you know, 700 or 800 pages a night, right before bed, while my daughter is punching me. My son is pissing on me. I'm pouring over fanfic. So yeah.
Worked for 50 Shades.
What's that?
It worked for 50 Shades of Grey. It was a fanfic.
It was what?
50 Shades of Grey was a fanfiction.
50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, it was a Twilight fanfiction that they then turned into an actual book.
That's Twilight fanfic?
Yeah, that's terrifying.
I haven't seen it or read it.
Don't.
I don't know anything about it.
Just
but I know
don't.
that a lot of people bought copies of it.
Yeah.
That's based on. Oh.
That's based on Ella and Bev.
So are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah.
Some fans could get really rich off of their Why aren't you guys doing that? Why are you doing 50 Shades of Grey?
Yeah, I know.
50 Shades of Purple.
Yeah, I was trying to get to my seat.
Are you thinking about it right now? No? Are you an author of fanfic?
I've tried to write some, but they've never actually really gone anywhere.
They don't go anywhere?
Really.
What are your missing ingredients? Maybe
Motivation?
Motivation? You mean you're not motivated to make it go anywhere? Or the
Well,
characters seem
I
unmotivated?
mean, I guess there's more like an extra ingredient called procrastination.
I got out of the line.
I think that you need help writing some fanfic. Who wants to help this young woman write some fanfic? Go to one of the people with their hand up. They don't procrastinate, and they can help you get this done. I'm glad that we've workshopped this problem, because I know that's not what you came up here worrying about, but I think this is what we're getting to the heart of the matter. Okay, so this person with their hand up, over here, where are you? Who raised their hand first? Highest. Okay, you. Okay, can you stand up, please? Go over there to that woman over there by the microphone. She needs help writing fanfic. Thank you. You guys have to exchange email and work on it together. Are you guys are you really gonna do it? Okay, good. I still, for some reason, I have not read a lot of it myself. I accidentally read something. I don't know when. I think it was like 2009. I was on the internet. This is way back in the beginning of the internet, and I had just gotten on the show, and was like, everybody I saw online, everybody's talking about like my character, and I thought, whoa, that's amazing. And then I saw like, oh, this is a whole story. There's a whole story about my character. And was like, whoa, bro. Castiel. An angel. Yeah, good question, really good. Probate. Hi.
Hi. Misha, you are so adored by your fans. And some of your fans have named their children after you or Castiel. I didn't actually know about the show, but my sister did. So my little boy is now Cass. And we want to know...
Wait, whoa, what?
I didn't know about the show. I didn't know about you.
Wait, but you have a son?
Yes, 17 months old.
And your son's name is?
Not legally, because I didn't know about you when he was born, and he already had 11 syllables.
I'm so relieved.
But my sister was a huge fan, and
Okay.
so she started calling him Cass because he had blue eyes and everything.
Okay.
So I was wondering,
Yeah.
what words of wisdom do you have to bestow on the children that have been named in your honor?
You know the dubious distinction of having asked a question that I may never recover from. I don't know. What advice to give them. Try to be nice. Don't pee on your parents. That is my advice to those children. Do not punch or piss on your parents. Period. They've suffered enough already. Be nice to them. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Congratulations, by the way. How are you sleeping? Not well, huh? Yeah. They tell you about it, but they don't really get it through to you in advance. Like, you're like, yeah, how bad can it be? Pretty bad. Yeah. And does he have any idiosyncrasies at night?
Not necessarily at night. He tries to bite people's feet when he's tired, but that's about it.
But he's probably modeling your behavior. Yeah. You probably taught him that. Thank you. Hi.
So I'm starting high school next year, and I was wondering if you had any general tips on how to survive.
Don't go. I'm not actually convinced that school is necessarily a good thing in general. Like, it has to be a good school. School, de facto, just school is not necessarily a great place to go. It should be a good school, otherwise I would try not to go. My mother, when I was in high school, she was like, Misha, I want to talk to you about something. You know, you don't have to go to school, right? Which I thought was really great parenting advice. I was like, where is this coming from, Mom? Of course I'm going to school. I'm a responsible teenager. I'm going to school. Stop it. I was like, all right, I just wanted to make sure you knew. You don't have to go. Okay, I got it. Oh man, I don't know. What's it like in high school? You're not in high school yet, so you can't speak to that. Somebody say the opposite. Who's in high school that likes it? How old are you? She's been held back. 10 years. She's 25 years old and still in high school. Still, she's pretty old to be in high school. High school was a tough place for me, but I also went to a really good high school where you could kind of be yourself and people supported you. So I don't know. Vicky was there. She didn't support me. I don't know. I mean, I remember, kids being hard on each other and making each other feel bad and stuff like that. Sometimes I think maybe kids are better now. Maybe being weird is cool now. Shit. Okay, so that's... although there things like these communities that seem to be cropping up online where people find social networks that are outside of the school framework. So there are good things about the modern world that we didn't have then. You know, you just had to figure it out on your own. And if you were a loner, you know, if you weren't fitting in at school, you were a loner, or you were, you know, a troublemaker or something like that. Which at times I was both of. But yeah, I would say basically, you know, just don't go. You should be fine. Where are you going to school?
I don't know yet. I turned in my applications on Friday. So.
Oh, you're applying to different, like, fancy schools.
The schools in this area normally require like a lot of applications. So
You have to apply?
it's weird. I don't know.
A drag. What's that? Really? All right. Well, spell check your applications. That would be one piece of advice. Good luck. I hope it works out well for you.
Hi.
Hi.
Recently, I've been casted in the biggest role that I've had so far in a musical.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And,
Are you going to be singing in this musical?
oh yeah, like.
Oh yeah.
But this role is mostly acting.
Okay.
And so I'm very nervous.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for learning lines or anything?
Yeah, for learning lines?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Make sure you really learn them well. And do it in advance. I have a friend who actually, I was a friend with in high school who was just visiting yesterday. And she was like, yeah, I just did this play. It was a total fiasco. They kept changing the script, and so we didn't get a final script until 2 days before, and nobody knew their lines. And I still have anxiety dreams about exactly that, like showing up on set and not knowing my lines, because it's the worst thing. That's the worst. Going up on your lines. I remember, this is great. Hey, any advice? Man, you are fucked. It's going to be horrible. One of the first plays I did, it was in high school. It was like the main stage production, and I went to a big high school, so it was kind of like a big production, and everybody seemed to come to see the plays, and my dad came. My dad drove out from Boston. It's like a 2-hour drive. And I think it might have been the only time that he came out to my high school, and I was like, oh, Dad's coming. And I was like the male lead in the production, and there was a scene where it was me having this sort of romantic conversation with the female lead, and I forgot my line. And both she and I decided to take a brain tact on this, which was just wait for the line to come. And it never came. And it was horrible. And I actually remember like the sensation in my body and the whole experience. I remember standing up there and just thinking, nothing at all. I was in a blank fucking slate, and I was just gonna let something change the situation. But it wasn't gonna be me remembering the line, because I was just gonna stand there until this was over. And it was really tough. And I knew my dad was in the audience, and I was just like, I was so mortified. But it didn't occur to me to just sort of like, I don't know, fumble through, say something else. So learn your lines. It's easier to learn them if you just read them with somebody else. If you read them to yourself and you say them over and over again to yourself, it takes longer. And also, if you use mnemonic devices, it works. If you don't know what that is, Google it. But be forewarned, it's spelled weird. Don't give up just because you don't find it right away, because it is a weird word. And try to have fun, and be a little bit free with it. It goes better when you do that. You know, don't get stuck in the same thing. One thing that people do, myself included, is you learn lines and then you learn them in a certain way, and then you can't say the dialogue any way other than you learned it. If you learn them a little bit without imbuing them with, you know, total meaning, then you can allow yourself to be a little bit more spontaneous in the moment. How's that? Real? Substantial? Scary? Good.
Hi. My name is Vinyani, and I'm part of the Weird Name Club.
What? What is the Weird Game Club?
Name, yeah.
Oh, the Weird Name Club.
Yeah.
I was like, this sounds like a great club. The Weird Name Club? Not as great. Yoni?
What?
Yoni?
I'm Yanni.
Yanni.
That's
your name.
It's really weird, but...
Yanni.
I'm Yanni.
I was missing a syllable and calling you a vagina. Right? I mean, isn't that where your head went?
Sometimes when I just arrived to a show, I haven't been backstage. I was in the green room and I returned, assuming that the show is in good hands, and safe hands. And the ship is being steered out to sea. I literally opened the door and hear, oh, see, I dropped a letter and I called you a vagina. That's what I wanted. Yep, that's it. That's all I got.
Okay, so my question was if you liked my shirt and what your favorite episode of Supernatural is.
My favorite episode of Supernatural is The French Mistake, still. Oh, yeah, it's great. It's a unicorn. Yeah, that's fabulous. Yeah, very much. Thank you. You picked it for me. Thank you. Okay, that's very sweet. Thank you. I thought you were like going to take your shirt off and give it to me. And I was going to say thank you for not doing that, but that's not entirely true. So, sorry. Nice meeting you, and thank you for wearing that shirt. Hi.
Hi. Okay, so I am a long-time participant of GISH.
Oh.
And my question is, so far in all the years you've been doing it, what have your favorite items in GISH been?
What have my favorite items of GISH been? I don't know. You know, people always ask me, what are the great items? And then I feel like myself in high school on stage, forgetting my lines. I can't remember anything. I really like the floating Christmas tree. I've been actually brainstorming in the last couple of weeks with some friends about like art project ideas and fun things we might like to do. We noticed, I noticed there was a theme that ran through, like things that I get excited about. And they're things that are a little bit disruptive and, well, frankly, illegal. So, floating Christmas trees was one for me because I just thought that was so cool. And then when there was that news story about how like they had to stop air traffic because they were afraid planes were going to hit Christmas trees. For me, I don't know why that was like so triumphant. I love it. It would have been horrible, obviously, had a plane crashed because of it. I'm not in any way advocating downing planes, but I kind of like, I like things that kind of surprise people and are totally unexpected and a little bit disruptive. I really love the GISH in space item because it ended up yielding like, you know, there's now a mountain on Mars that's called GISH because NASA officially named it GISH, and now there are people who are sitting, you know, at jet propulsion laboratories at their computers who are looking at monitors going, it's like, oh, it's 2 degrees south of GISH. I don't know. And then there's another category that's not disruptive or illegal, but just totally bizarre and a little bit humiliating, which I also like. People covered in pet hair, those images to me, I could look at those for weeks. They're hilarious. People would go to the pet store and they would buy, you don't have to buy like disembodied pet hair, it's free. You go to a pet grooming store, you say, would you mind parting with some of your hair? They invariably apparently say yes, and then you can glue it to your body, and it's disgusting, like abominable Catman thing. And it is. Oh, it's amazing to look at. But I'm excited about it. Who can just by a silent show of hands, who has participated in GISH?
Silent.
What was hard about that request? Silent. I don't know why I wanted silent, but okay. By a vocal show of enthusiasm, who thinks that it should be like 4 or 5 days instead of 7 days? A few people. Do people think it should be a full 7 days? I'm afraid that's too long. It's too long. Like you realize these are all unemployed people that are shouting out, yeah, it's been 7 days. I've got nothing to do anyway. You're like, no, you're angrily employed. You are a teacher, so you have August off. Oh, all right.
Damn,
more time. Make it 2 weeks. Shit. To hell with them. Make it all year long. Okay. All right. Wait, did you? Oh, you asked your question and I said I answered. Okay, great. Okay, it is fun. I for some reason love that thing because it's so much fun. People, the stuff that people do in the scavenger hunt is so amazing. Some of the art that people produce is so astonishing. Sometimes, this is not a joke, sometimes when I'm feeling like, a little down on myself or something, I'll go and look at pictures and be like, this is awesome. This is fucking great. Good for you. Hi.
I was wondering what's either the most bizarre or the funniest request you've ever had during one of your photo ops.
I think someone licked my stomach once. Part of the problem is, because we'll do the photo ops, we'll do the duo photo ops, whatever. It'll be, people come up and go, hey, would you mind wearing this mustache, this worm stash, this hat, this halo? Would you wear this octopus hat? Would you mind putting on this tutu and a wreath of kale around your head? And I'm always like, yeah, go for it. Yeah, we'll do it. And if I'm with Mark, he's like, no. I know that's our stick. We do this thing. And some people are like, yeah, all this shit, you mind if I, lick your stomach? Oh, yeah, sure. I think you should get an autopilot. Yes, I'm the one that says yes. He's the one that says no. No. Yes. Every once in a while, you, oh, hi, how are you? I didn't know you were here. Here, come here for a second. I would like to demonstrate. Can you crawl up here? Can you get up here with all those beer glasses? Can you get up? Yeah, that's safer. So I'll be doing a, photo op, and every once in a while somebody will come up and, we'll be taking, like Chris is over here taking a picture, and we'll come in for the photo op, and you be me. Okay, you be me, okay? So Chris is over here taking the picture, and every once in a while someone will be like, and I wiggle my butt just like that. Do a little. So I'm glad I saw you at that opportune moment. It was nice catching up. Good to see you. That was inappropriate. So that happens in photo ops fairly frequently. I'll get a little bit of and sometimes that was more what I did was a little bit. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've obviously slept with some of the people in the photo. but a lot of times it's a little bit less confident than what I just did. It'll be more like, and then a little mad dash right at the end when they think like it's about to be over, you know. Thank you. Hi.
Hi.
Are you being held up right now? Yes. Hi.
Hi. During the photo op, I kind of broke down sobbing.
You were crying.
Yeah.
It was actually kind of. I'm sorry. I was going to say it's kind of funny. It was terribly sad. It was actually hilarious. You were bawling. Maybe I'm not as sensitive as I should be. But if I'm not mistaken, you were with your friend.
My aunt, actually.
Your what?
My aunt, she bought me the tickets for Christmas.
Wait, was she crying too?
Yeah, but she was crying because I was
crying.
crying.
So it was a really weird situation. Like, there was this woman comes up and she's crying, and that would be you. And then right behind her is this other woman who's she's crying, I'm sorry. But you're crying, to my eye, more than the other one that you're apologizing. She had tears like coming down. I'm sorry, she's crying. Anyway, your aunt was also what we in the business call a mess.
So my question was, you seem to deal with that pretty well. What was it like?
You mean by mocking it and laughing at it? Thank you for acknowledging that, yeah.
Yeah. I was wondering, when you first became famous, what was it like when people started falling in front of you in your presence?
It felt really natural. You know, right out of the gate, it was almost like a sigh of relief. Like, oh, yeah, this is how it should be. Because all along, I had felt like something was missing in my life. Like, why aren't people babbling and crying and, you know, falling in heaps when I talk to them? So it just felt like, yeah, okay, this is click. This is right. This is the way things should be. Does that help? It's super weird. Speaking of super weird, gentlemen.
Or Kappa. Don't let this distract you.